Hello YouTube, welcome back to Thinky Dailies Season 3 Puzzle 54. Let's get out of here. A Nice Walk Path, Arrows by Martin Ender. The mentor is frantically tracing the mosaic, but there's no time. Our pal pulls the mentor away, looking for a safe route out. Today's puzzle is an Ice Walk Path Arrows, which adds a new clue type taken from a different path and ice genre called Ice Barn. Draw a path from the entrance to the exit that passes through every number and arrow clue. Blue cells are ice. The path cannot turn on ice, but may cross itself on ice. Numbers indicate the length of the non-ice section of the path they are on. Arrows point along the path toward the exit. This looks kind of similar to the last ice walk path. Let me just check. Where was the last one? There. I assume there's a difference. I can't see it. Let's go back to here and view a puzzle. Okay, I assume there's a very subtle difference. So from this 3 we have to go straight up. This arrow is going to have to go like that. I can mark some X's where we can't go into the ice in particular directions. That has to come down from above. That can't go down to the exit because I think the entrance and exit have switched places, which is why it's a different puzzle. Okay, let's draw in the bits of line segment that we can see. This either goes left through the 2 and straight up, which would work, or it goes right and up at the end, which is also possible. This one can't go up, can't go down, so it has to extend another space. It now can't go down. Can't tell what it does. It's 3. Can't go into the ice there. 1, 2, can't go into the ice here. So its only option is to go straight down there. And that's the way to the exit. Okay. This can't go that way, so it has to go either up or down, and I don't know which. Yeah, that goes into the ice one way or the other. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Still more than 8 spaces that we can use these for. This 6 can't go left or right, so it has to go through there. And that's 3 of the 6. Okay, we can't go into the ice there. This goes right, that goes up, and we go straight to the end. So this can't go right, so it has to go left. Which means the 2 has to do that. That can't go down, it'll be forced down again and we'll join onto this, so it has to go through there. That can't go left or up, it has to come from the right, and that's 5 of those 6. That can't go down, so it's going to have to go up. Can't go right or up again, so it has to go left. Can't go down or form a loop, so it has to go up. Don't know if it was right or left, but it looks very tempting to take it right and then down through there. That can't join to the 3 because then it would have to go straight into the ice or take too many cells. So that comes from a different direction. Can't do, could go down and around there though, but that means that this has to go straight up through here. These two ends can't join because they're going opposite directions, so that continues up. We can't go into this bit of ice because we'll hit that path, so we have to go along here. Can't go down because we're going the opposite way. Can't go down and we'll hit that path, so we have to join those. If we hit the 5 down, then this 6 is basically trapped and can't go anywhere. So I think we have to go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and down, and that's the exit. So I'm going to look into join this to this through the 5. Which I don't think is going to work. So this to this, not through the 5. I can come through the 3. Oh, I see. So if I did that, and then come up here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, up through the ice, down through there, and join to there. And that's the solution. The Yeti stays close. It clutches a tile bag and a little grouting trowel. Is this who makes the mosaics? I should hope so. It's always good to have a Yeti making mosaics. Right. I'm going to look through the hints and see if there's anything obvious that I should have been doing that I didn't do. I think I got through that reasonably methodically. This is a tough puzzle. We don't want to get stuck on overlooking easy steps, so we can focus on figuring out the harder ones. To help with that, let's start by placing cross marks wherever the path can never enter or exit the ice. Yep, I did that. I don't know if I got all 13. The path passes through every arrow, so we join those path segments and extend the path on ice. Yep, I did that. Note that the orientation of the path matters now because all arrows point towards the exit. This means each path segment we draw has a front and a rear. If there's an arrow clue on the segment, or the segment is already connected to the entrance or exit, we already know which end is which. We can never connect 2 front ends or 2 rear ends. None of the path ends at the bottom of the middle column can connect to each other, so you can place cross marks between them. Interesting question might be why I got a cross mark there. I don't remember why I marked that one. I think I meant to mark one at the top. but I'm not sure. The other spot is a little sneakier. The two parallel arrows in the left half of the grid both point right. While they're not directly adjacent to each other, there's ice between them, which means this ice cannot be crossed, as this would connect like ends of these two path segments. So I didn't bother marking those cross marks in. I could have done. With some basics for how to work the arrows out of the way, let's start looking at the number clues. Can you determine where the 3 clue at the top of the grid re-enters the ice? And I did determine that. There seem to be 3 options, but 2 don't work. Yeah. So the vertical path we just drawn leaves only one way for the tip of the left arrow, top left arrow, to go. It had to go down. Top left. Oh no, had to go. So that arrow had to go up there. I'm not sure I looked at that one at that point, maybe a bit later. By making sure not to form a loop, we can extend both ends of this path segment a little further left and also complete the 3 clue on the left. Yeah, so I could have done that a lot earlier than I did. Can resolve the 5 clue now. What's the furthest it can go to the right while entering an ice cell before covering more than 5 non-ice cells? How far at least does it have to go upwards? Okay, so it could have at this point gone 3 to the right because it couldn't go down through these things, so it had to go up at least 2, which forces should connect a path segment coming from above this way, which means it has to enter the ice immediately next to the glue and can't extend right at all. Make sure not to connect the same types of path ends in the bottom left corner and not to trap the tip of the bottom left arrow. This should have led to a path segment connecting to the entrance of the grid, which lets you resolve the 2 clue. Well, at this point I'd worked out that it had to go left, so yeah. Time to focus on the right side. Path ends to the left and below the 3 clue, which leaves it with only one option to cover exactly 3 cells. Yeah, I looked at that and said that one can't join, so it has to be that one. When this path segment exits the ice on the other side in the top right corner, it's still quite far away from its arrow, but note that it's still the rear end of the segment, so it cannot connect directly. Yeah, I did all that working around, so you can't join on and things. There are 2 ways to finish the puzzle. Well, if you haven't done the left side, like me, then you look at it and say, oh, I think it's got to go that way. How many cells can the 6 reach at most when extending upwards or downwards? Yeah, I basically looked at the 6 and said it has to join on and things. Okay, so I took a slightly different route to complete this puzzle, but that was fun, an interesting challenge. So I note that the cave puzzles were using the same cave, or some of the other puzzles were using the same cave, and then this one we're using the same ice path outside the cave. I wonder if both or all of those will feed into the meta puzzle that's probably coming up in about a week's time. Okay, thank you very much for watching, and I'll be back tomorrow with the next one.